Let's talk about what's happening in Washington with the political parties, and actually, who's doing a better job in social media, the Republicans or the Democrats, in your opinion?
You know, look, I think in politics, it's a lot easier when you've got somebody else on the other side who's, you know, George Bush had a hell of a lot to do with both Dean and Obama. And I mean, all the positive stuff that Obama, but, you know, there was somebody to mobilize against, and we had to get the Republicans out and that kind of thing. You know, now it's the other way around right now. And that doesn't mean the Obama campaign and the White House is way ahead and Democrats are way ahead on this stuff. But suddenly they've got, you know, they've got an ability to organize and start going out. And it's, you know, it's not an accident that it was the insurgent Dean campaign and not the Clinton campaign, but the insurgent or, you know, Obama campaign in the beginning that through, because they needed to, found, and because they had the know-how, found different ways of communicating people where the old way wasn't, you know, wasn't working. I think it's the same way now. The Republicans have, you know, are going to play catch-up, but it's easier for them to play catch-up because they've now got somebody in the White House that they can say, we've got to go.
I also think that there's a difference between mobilizing using the internet and social media for a campaign versus for government. And for policy, and the Republicans over a couple of decades became very good at this sort of multi-pronged approach that involved cable television, it involved think tanks, it involved direct mail, and they all sort of played off of each other. And I think that the Democrats haven't quite figured out the 3 or 4 pieces they need to put together to sort of keep up that energy around policy.
I can also speak from YouTube's perspective on the political side that since inauguration we launched the U.S. government and the Congress on YouTube, and the number of Republicans, I mean, it's been very stark to see how eager the Republican Party has been to get on YouTube, start uploading tons and tons of videos. I mean, absolutely a fire was lit underneath that party in terms of on YouTube specifically.
I've been thinking about this exact question and you know, watching, you know, my colleagues go into the White House and into the administration and watching what has happened in the you know, on the Hill and with the party in general and OFA 2.0 and what's gone on with media and video and things. And also watching, like, what, you know, what you said, where the Republicans have really stepped in, kind of, it's lit a fire under them to try to strategize around how to use, you know, quote-unquote new media. The recent realization that I had was that the campaign and all the excitement that you saw around the Obama campaign wasn't really political. I mean, people didn't get involved with that campaign because they wanted to get involved with politics, quote unquote. They wanted to get involved with an American moment, and a moment that they could take ownership in and feel a part of and have, you know, finally be driving for solutions. Our generation, my generation, I guess, there's statistics out there that show that we're actually more bipartisan than previous generations, and I think that that's going to be really interesting in the way that, you know, political discourse takes place, particularly with this new media. One of the things that I see that is likely going to happen is that, you know, the reincarnation of this sort of media fervor that we saw around the campaign will happen in American recovery. The American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, you know, being a large part of that, but I think communities are really starting to take a foot, given federal stimulus and given the federal sort of you know, momentum and leadership and directions that are going to reestablish, rebuild job growth, build new economies, build new communities in a way that we haven't seen before. And I think that what I'm excited to take part in is that media ecosystem and that media movement that's going to be the second wave of what we were pushing in the campaign.